The campaign season is here, and your vote can make a difference. Comcast brings you the candidates on demand right now.
I'm Jill Horner, and this is Candidates on Demand. With me is Doug Campbell. He's an independent candidate for the state attorney general. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Doug, talk to us a little bit about your background and why you're running now for attorney general.
Well, I'm an Eagle Scout, a Marine. I run my own small business. And I've always been a student of history and the Constitution and what actually makes our government work. And for the last, couple decades, our government has been moving further and further away from working for the people and more towards the corporations, banks, and special interests.
So why run for attorney general?
Well, the position of attorney general is key to the people's check over the legislature in the courts. If we have a citizen advocate in the attorney general's position, then they can choose to prosecute or not to prosecute, and to make certain crimes a priority or to not make them a priority.
So you don't have a background in law, but you say you're a student of the Constitution. Do you think that that's important, not important to have a background in law in running for attorney general?
I don't think it's important that you have a background in law. What I think, myself and I think a lot of the people out there are looking for is someone who is going to stick to the Constitution, who is actually going to do what they say in their oath by protecting and defending the Constitution.
And you say you have certain priorities if you are elected, and one of those, even though you would be a state attorney general, would be to challenge the federal health care bill. In what capacity? How would you do that?
Absolutely. There's 20 states that have already filed suit against the health care bill, and it's because it's an overreach of the federal ability to govern. In the 10th Amendment, it says all the powers not specifically delegated to the federal government in the Constitution are left to the states or to the people. Health care is never mentioned in the Constitution. The only thing the federal government could do, and I think they should do, is allow people to buy health insurance across state lines and to carry it over into other states. That's the only thing the feds can do. We need health care reform, but it has to be done at the state level.
So would you join in a federal lawsuit?
Yes, if I'm elected, Delaware will be number 21 on that list challenging that law.
So let's move over to some other issues. You say you would be an advocate for states' rights, and that goes back to what we were just talking about a few seconds ago, but how would you do that? In what capacity?
Well, we file lawsuits. There's a half a dozen lawsuits ranging from gun control issues. Missouri's got an excellent law that says if the gun is built in Missouri and is sold to a Missouri resident, then it's not subject to federal law. That's the kind of law I would like to see passed in Delaware. Of course, then you're working with the legislature, but it's about stopping the federal government from coming in with more laws and regulations infringing on our basic amendment, the Bill of Rights.
So let's talk about some of the issues that attorney generals have dealt with in the past, everything from fraud and abuse to violent crime. Would these be issues that you would want to tackle as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think the banking industry have been completely neglected by the Department of Justice. They go after some petty stuff, but we've got all of the major banking and financial institutions registered here in the state of Delaware. The Securities and Exchange Commission, along with the Federal Commodities Future Trading Commission, has not been doing their job in policing these financial institutions. And so at some capacity, the state of Delaware should.
And we just have a short time left, but in terms of violent crime, you say working to reduce the recidivism rate would actually be a priority. How would you do that?
We're going to take the weights out of the prisons and replace them with books. There are storehouses of old textbooks, I'm sure, somewhere where these guys can start actually learning something in prison instead of just more of the same when they come out.
Very few seconds left, but why should people vote for you in this election?
Because I am going to be an advocate for the people, for the people's rights to defend themselves and to defend their families, and also states' rights from the overreach of the federal government.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking with Doug Campbell, an independent candidate for the state attorney general. I'm Jill Horner.